Hello, my friends. By the time you get this video, I will have been back from my latest adventure. I just love sharing what I'm doing with you. Like, right now, this is how I live. You hear the dog in the background? One of the many dogs here in Oaxaca, Mexico. They're very loved. Then I've got some birds in the background kind of chattering and saying, hey, where's our food? Like, don't you know it's time to eat? Now, these are birds outside that I put some bird seeds out, so they can come and visit and know that I welcome them. And you know what? It's quite amazing. They really do talk. If you listen, now that's one of our little puppies who's getting like a little spanking from the adult puppy. Isn't that the way life is? If you put a little bird seed out in your yard or patio, a little special place, the birds will come. And then you'll start having this communication. And they tell you about their life, and I tell them about mine. But here's my latest adventure. Right now, I am preparing to travel 6 hours to Huautla de Jimenez in Oaxaca, Mexico, known for the birthplace of Maria Sabina, but she died a long time ago, and known for these special sacred mushrooms. So if you haven't watched my first video when I speak about my trip to Agua de Niños and with Don Tiburcio and like light coming out of this person's face, I'm going to put the link for that one in the description because I had just come back from that experience and it's very fresh and pretty powerful. And now, let's see, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Now, almost 5-6 months later, I'm going back to that same area, but it's going to be a little different. You see, Spirit will change things up, trying to get you to the right place where you're supposed to be for your Dharma. So I was in that same area just in March, and pretty much a peak point for me here in Oaxaca. When you go up high into the mountains and you have a ceremony with very pure, indigenous carriers of the sacred traditions with these mushrooms. So that was one, but now we were supposed to go back to see him, and Spirit redirected. And I'm like, okay, so we can't do that. So we couldn't go. And it was almost like at the last minute, we couldn't go there. And that's a whole another story, because when you're dealing with indigenous cultures, when we are part of, invited into the indigenous cultures, the secret places, it flows. It flows with nature like nature flows. And how do you control the flow of nature? You really can't. So I personally have been invited to a special ceremony with los niños, with these special mushrooms. And I can't tell you who it is right now because I want to make sure it's okay. But when an indigenous community, when an indigenous leader invites you in, not for profit, but because it is part of their protocol to honor someone like me. They see someone like me who's honoring their tradition and walking in integrity, and also guarding, because I'm also guarding their tradition. I don't let everybody in my circle. So I was invited to go. And I'm like, wow, that's, the lineage, that particular lineage is world renowned in their sacred works. And I said, Ayanna, you're gonna go. Remember you had that dream, a recurring dream of las abuelas de las montañas de Oaxaca llamándome. They were calling me. I kept having these dreams of the abuelas calling me from these mountains, like high, hidden. And I looked at my life and I'm like, wow, I just stepped into my dream. So that's where I'm going by the time you receive this video. That's where I would have been. So it's going to be me and a guest who said they wanted to come, and her spirit is just really clear enough to be there and be presented. And then our guide, Jose Tomas, Licenciado Jose Tomas, who is the counsel for 32 indigenous communities that I can't say too much here in public, but they're very dedicated to rescuing and restoring and continuing their indigenous beliefs, cultures, language, traditional medicines, and I'm very committed to that vision and that project. So he and I and the young one that's coming, we're journeying up. That's 6 hours up. 6 hours away and 6 hours up in altitude to Huautla de Jimenez, and receive los niños. Now here's one thing about these sacred mushrooms, because if anybody knows me, they know I'm pretty conservative about any of this. Very conservative. I'm vetting everybody. I'm tuning in. If I don't feel comfortable, I say no. And quite frankly, I don't need to go anywhere to get high. I get high on being in love with the world, with nature, right? With people, and enjoying the juiciness of life. And then this, which has been quite beautiful. So they're called los niños, and they are mushrooms, and they're very proliferous at this time in Oaxaca, in this area, during the rainy season. There's times when it's you can't barely find them, and if you did, they're dried and stored somewhere. Here's my visionary, prophetic, mystic, artistic, connected to all sentient beings and plant life. This is my take. They're called los niños, the children, the holy ones. That's the purity. That's the purity of the energy. These are living beings who have that vibration that want to integrate with us for information, for realignment. Some people get deeply healed. I actually experience very much joy and supernatural experiences with a jaguar and light. So so when they call you, let me go back to los niños, the holy ones, the little ones. They're pure. They're innocent. And so that purity and innocence, when it calls us, and we purely and innocently receive the offering, enter the ceremony, giving flowers, having the chants over us and the songs in Mazateco as well as in Spanish. With candles, and I can only imagine what it could be like, because what I expected when I went up to the other place higher up in the mountain with Don Tiburcio. It was beyond what I could ever have dreamed of. And so I leave you with this. When the energy of purity and the energy of the child and the energy of innocence invites you to come and dance and partake, don't miss the opportunity. Just say yes. God's got you. The universe has got your back. Everything's going to be all right. In fact, more than all right. Much, much better. And I am thrilled that I can do this. That's a 6-hour trip, going up mountains and stuff. I mean, it is not a trip to say, oh yeah, let's go. This is like, you are called, or a little bit like, well, I just want to get high. But you are called, at least I have been, and others, right? Others who are wanting to come now to receive the medicine, to receive the knowledge, the information, to unlock that part of ourselves that's covering, that's not allowing us to see and experience much more than we can see and experience. So I bless you. This is the Friday video to the goddess, to Dr. Pillai, to Mary Magdalene, to you, and to los niños, to the children, to the purity of light. I invite you to comment, share this. This is powerful, because when I come back, I'm going to have another video about what happened. Comment, like, subscribe, thumbs up. Share this with your friends, because the more we get into the algorithm, the more people see it, and the more we all benefit. And then the world gets better, becomes a happier place. Anyway, I love you. I wanted to make sure I got this out to you before I leave. It's Wednesday afternoon. I'm getting into that place of, preparation, because you don't just drive up into the sacred space. You prepare. So I'm gonna do a little fire for myself and my little friend, and making sure we've cleared and cleansed everything that we need to, whatever we need to burn in the fire, so that we can pack, get on the road and go experience more magnificence, our next level of blessing. And so I bless you. Please look in the description for the video on my first experience up into those mountains, and how you can get in contact with me. We're looking for sponsors. We got some incredible things about to pop. Anyway, love you. Ciao.